Hey, so hi, I'm Tao Wen. I'm 22 this year, and I just completed my national service a few months back. And I pursued a diploma in baking and culinary science in Temasek Poly. So I've been baking and exposed to patisserie since 15, and have been pursuing this interest ever since. So I landed my first job in Henry Charpentier, a Japanese French patisserie restaurant. And further that, just before I graduated, I participated in the Food Hotel Asia competition, and I managed to win a gold medal for it. So regarding this startup of mine, it was just an idea of bringing what I like doing and sharing with other people. And so how it was started was during NS. I had flexible working hours, so I was able to practice and experiment many recipes, and hence from then on I managed to uh, make more recipes and decided to bring this to everyone. Yep.
Oh, that was great. So I don't know if it's just me, but the first question that I think of whenever it comes to like startups and entrepreneurship, I hope it's the same for our audience here today, is that what was your inspiration or motivation behind choosing this niche business idea, which is like specializing in French pastries and developing your USP or unique selling point?
Okay, so the inspiration, as previously when I was baking, all the while I was into pastry all the way, and I've been following this famous pastry chef on Instagram. So the ideas of his and mixture of mine, I decided to start making it and see whether how is it to show where my level is and his. So I tried to challenge myself and decided to do a similar type of French pastry out there. And in Singapore, I don't see this kind of pastry very often yet. So I decided to do this instead of other desserts or pastry that you see out in the market right now.
I think that's very interesting, and the way that you used to like challenge yourself to develop your interest in it further. That's pretty cool, and I think people should really adopt it as well. So, would you like to walk us through the initial stages of your business? Like from getting funds for your operations, equipment, and like getting all those hygiene certificates. So, from there.
Okay, regarding the hygiene certificate, back when I was poly, so I already have this hygiene certificate given to me because it's a requirement. Because we went through internship, so it's originally given to us. We had to take this course, of course. So from the funds itself, because I've been baking since young, and the kitchen itself has been built through many years, so there wasn't really a very big requirement for a fund itself. The fund mostly uh, lies in the ingredient cost, and otherwise the startup itself is basically my own kitchen, so there wasn't really a big issue about funds. So during the building up this business, I have to plan. So firstly was inventory. So there was raw materials. So I have to ensure that I don't have too many ingredients. Otherwise, there'll be overstock. But too little, I cannot cope up with the production itself. And during CV, of course, to do this thing is a bit hard because most of the stores are hot. All the ingredients are taken, so had to negotiate with the suppliers properly. And one plus point that I had was back prior towards circuit breaker, I was already baking, so we had a good relationship together already. So I was able to reserve some of the stocks for myself, and hence continue to develop more recipe. And furthermore, during the in order to make my kitchen more suitable for tart making, I had to discuss with my parents. So we slightly changed the kitchen a bit and gathered a bit more equipment like a new fridge, like a smaller fridge and container and stuff like that. to make it more suitable for tart making, as well as hygienic for selling, because it's important safety, food safety. Yeah. So other than that, I did a sort of like a market research. So I roughly see what is out there in the industry itself. So I see what are the pastries that people are selling. So I actually went down to see what people are actually buying these days. So I realized that not because pastry shop itself, right? They focus more on mass production. But for home-based business like mine, the customer base isn't as big as shops because you have walk-ins. So I decided to focus more on quality instead. So I tuned my recipes to make it more premium. So we focus more on quality, and I have more components in my tart itself. So that was roughly the business side that I'm looking at. Yeah.
Hello, so sorry for the Wi-Fi connection. Okay, so that was great, but since this is like a home food business, and did you face like any particular challenges to like establish yourself in the market? Because this might be a gender type market which favors or maybe like leans more toward women being in this home-based food business market. So did you face any challenges in that aspect?
For that aspect, yes, initially, because as you said, it's a gender type of thing where people first come to mind is females baking and selling online, but it, that was not the issue that I was trying to face, like, because what I feel that is like the product itself, like, because you're not buying just for the sake of who you're buying from, you're buying for the product itself. So from that part, I don't really see why there's a gender, why only females are selling it, because anybody can do it as long as your food is good. And some of the challenges that I faced during the this whole thing was uh, because it's a home-based business. So in order to get people to know about this business I'm starting is quite hard. So in terms of that, because as you know, I studied culinary, so marketing. I know that marketing is very important for business essentially, but because I didn't study that often, so I wasn't very good at it. So that was the biggest challenge I faced for this business itself, to let people know about this business I'm starting. So I had to gather friends, families to help me spread the word and buy and let people try. So what I was aiming for is at least people try and recognize that taste, and hopefully starts from there.
I think that's great. And you, as you mentioned just now, that your main focus was on quality of your food products, so that might have helped as well. And I do see some very aesthetic food pictures on both your social media and your website. So, do you think you have like developed throughout this time in your marketing and like building up your brand in terms of that?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Since do you think you have like developed in your marketing strategy and brand development throughout this time, like since the beginning of your startup till now?
Yes, I've been trying to work on the marketing itself. So uh, the I feel that the visual, because everyone eats with their eyes at first, the visual that comes in first. So what I was hoping is that I entice people from the pictures itself at first, and the website design I feel that is very important at the start. So I actually put in quite a bit of effort into the website, and initially I have no background on marketing itself, so I had to figure it out myself and how to design website properly and stuff like that, because there wasn't really a someone that I can turn to. So I have to try and make the website as nice as possible, and that's more of the marketing that I did. And for now, after circuit breaker, it's in phase 2 now. So business will not be as good because everyone can go outside already, and not usually turning to a home-based business now. So still working on it.
Yep, I think the effort on your website really shows because like your website is really attractive to people, and like especially me when I saw it for the first time, it was really like appetizing. And even though I'm not a big fan of sweets, I still felt like ordering from it, so that's great. um, in terms of like coming to like COVID-19 and the pandemic, since your customers have the option to maybe self-collect or delivery, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So have you seen a change or a shift in the patterns how customers order your food now
Yeah,
compared to
definitely.
before?
So back in circuit breaker, because circuit breaker, I have not really launched this business yet, like officially on Instagram or on the website itself. I was doing more of like through the word of mouth. So the trend that I saw was more people are leaning towards a delivery because, as you know, it's dangerous out there. So, but however, after phase 2 to open up, the even though I require pickup, like self pickup at Paya by itself, but surprisingly, more people are willing to come down and just pick up the product itself, which is quite surprising. Otherwise, because okay, maybe because of the delivery charges that some people are unwilling to pay for lah. But for now, if there's a choice, uh, believe more people come and pick up instead, and that's shown in the result as well.
So when there was a rise in the amount of delivery orders, were you able to manage it well, or did you face some problems on your side as well?
Um, Back in circuit breaker or during my national service, there wasn't really a trouble because I have hours to work with. I have a few days to work with the orders and split it up. However, because after I finished my national service, I started working really. So I'm juggling between working and doing this business as well. So this is a form of side hustle for me. So um, during when orders are more and you already promise the customers about the delivery date, I, there's no excuses that you can make to avoid the delivery date and time. So all I had was to work overtime. So there was time that I worked until 4 a.m. just to deliver the next day order lah. So these are the things I feel that it's just a sacrifice they make. I mean, lesser sleep doesn't really matter. So customer service more important.
I think the hard work will definitely pay off.
Yeah, because sometimes you really have no choice but to just do it because a promise has been made already, and sometimes even worse, payment has been done too.
That's so true. Yeah. So like following from that, every business has a different way of coping with like pandemic situations or like uncertainties in this VUCA world. So do you have like a particular strategy that you adopted just for this pandemic? Like, do you change your business model in a way or something, a major change that you made?
For this pandemic, because this current startup is also is a home-based business, so it's not really relatively affected by the COVID-19 situation itself because it's a home-based business. You sell through you sell through online, and I don't have a physical shop, so there's not really an issue that I face for this during this pandemic, and there wasn't really a need to change my business model, except for during the circuit breaker itself. I tried to uh, launch this startup as soon as possible because back in circuit breaker, everyone was at home, so there's tend to be more online marketing, online shopping. So I targeted that, but however now it's back in phase 2, so there's not really a need for me to change the business model unless I have a physical shop. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I think like picking up opportunities as soon as they arise is really important, and like you've done that, so that's good. And so I wanted to ask how like everyone you told about your business model, your family, your friends, what response did they have to it? Were they like very supportive of it, or did you like require some extra convincing, especially your parents?
For my family itself, they highly recommend it because is I feel that this whole startup is a stepping stone for me. It's like a first step because what I plan to do in the future, I intend to start up like an actual a restaurant or a food chain of myself. So this startup, my family also encouraged me to do it because it exposed me to things that you will never expect uh, when doing a business. So there are things that will go wrong. So it's a great experience for me, and my family think that it's a very good idea lah. Because there's no harm starting up this business. I lost nothing, and I haven't gained experience, and because I'm doing what I like to do, because I love to do baking, so I feel that it's a good idea lah, and everyone was very convinced by it as well.
I think that's really good because parents, I think they naturally have this tendency to like protect their children from like taking risks or like make them play safe most of times. But since your parents were really like up for it, that's great.
Yeah.
Um, so as you also mentioned your relationship with your suppliers and other people who helped you with the startup, and we all know how important connections and networking is for any business at all. So, especially in the initial stages of your startup, how have other people contributed to it?
Okay, so for firstly, the biggest support that I got from was my family, of course. So I had to uh, change the kitchen a bit, adding some equipment and stuff like that. So they were really supportive there, uh, a bit on the financial side, and of course helping me organize my stuff better. Because it's come down to it, it's still a one man show by me because I'm not working for anyone, just a home based business. And my from all the pictures that you are seeing right now on the Instagram or my website are taken by my dad actually, because fortunately he has a hobby, just a hobby lah, in photography, and so we hired not hired lah, because he was taking classes on photography, so he managed to get his teacher to come down and showed us um, how to style your food, to style your product. And after that, we took it on our own. Then we planned it through the weekend, and we shot all these photos. So that was a huge help that I got from my dad. So from my family, actually most of my support came from my family. My brothers and my sister helped out in packaging sometimes to because of mass order or stuff like that. I don't really have time to do it. From friends, of course, home-based business, as I said just now, social media. So it's hard to actually reach out to people these days because there's so many people doing it. Home-based business, very easy to start up. So I had to get friends and family to help me spread the word, and some of my friends bought the products from me and let their friends try also in order to help me bring my product to reach more people. Yeah, so these are the main supports that I got from this stuff.
Oh, I think that's great. Like I like how everyone just came together
Yeah,
and
everyone was
for
very
the success
supportive
of
of
this
this
business.
decision and decided to willingly show a helping hand.
That's really great. So, with the hype around business sustainability nowadays, what are your views on it, and how have you incorporated them into your business?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
How have you like? Okay, first of all, like, what are your views on business sustainability in terms of environmental, social, and economic pillars of sustainability?
So regarding business sustainability, I feel that you have to keep your products up to the trend these days. I feel that unless you're going for something classical, which is very risky these days. So I feel that you should come up with for business sustainability, your product must be eye catching. Like it must be something new and not something that you see everywhere, like in pastry shops, you don't want that to fight with other people because you're a home-based business. And I feel that that's not the way to go. And yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So, do you have any plans on furthering this business from an online to maybe a physical store or other ways of expanding it?
So to further this business itself, I intend to keep it still to home-based business because I feel that I'm not well equipped with the skills and knowledge to actually start up a business right now because I'm only 22 and I feel that there's still a lot more for me to learn. And this, I view this business as like a experience for me or like a side hustle for me, as I said just now, because I'm also currently working right now. So I do this during my free time, and to turn this business into a physical store, not really for now. Maybe in the future because I'm going for studies next year lah, to study culinary. So after I feel that I can, after exposing myself to more knowledge of food, I feel that I can bring better products to the market next time. So though I'm very tempted to start up a physical store right now, but I feel that it's not the right time for me yet.
Yeah, I think that's a smart idea. Like after gaining experience and exposure through this business, and then you can like expand it further. So I think that's pretty good. And since you mentioned just now that you are working currently as well, and this is like a side business, so how do you exactly manage this business with your work and then your personal commitments? Do you have any tips for all of us?
Okay, I feel that for okay, firstly from the work perspective, because I work in the kitchen as well, so I work from Tuesday to Saturdays. So Monday and Sunday the restaurant will be closed. So during those two off days are the days that I can push for the production. And usually for this particular first launch that I did, I roughly need about 2 full days to actually come out with the product itself. Because sometimes need the dough requires resting, there's baking involved, and there's a lot of components in my product. So time is the crucial part of this whole production. So after or sometimes so during when I take orders, so I usually allow myself 5 days pre-order time. So within 5 days, I'll give you the product. So during these two off days are the days that I have time to do it. Otherwise, for the Tuesday to Saturday, I'll plan out my schedule, or even I have a small bit of time, I'll start to buy the ingredients, stock up, and do a little small preps here and there. And so when when Sunday comes, then it'll be a full on. For personal time, as you mentioned, you can't have the best of both worlds. I feel that if you want to maintain this side business and while working and have personal life, it's a bit hard. I feel so you have to give up on some of the things. And when orders are low, then that's the time that I'll try to catch up with my social life.
Okay, but I was just wondering like the fact that you're really passionate about food and baking has helped you manage your work-life balance a bit better than most people. So like how important do you think it is to actually like be interested in something before you actually start doing it?
Oh yes, that's a very good point I made. So I feel that being passionate about what you do is the most important thing that you should have because you don't want to do what you don't like. And some people are very money minded at the start. So I feel that that shouldn't be the case. Even though I may not be earning as much as some people are doing right now, but I feel that uh, if you are passionate about what you do and put in effort into what you want to do in the future, so you work hard and with the passion giving you at the back, so I feel that the money will come naturally at the back. So you don't have to worry about that. So passion is the number one thing that I feel is most important in the business making.
Yeah, I think that's right. So if you have like passion with your work together, then
Yeah,
work doesn't really feel
that'll be
like work.
the best thing that
Mm,
anyone can ask for, because
right.
people require always a lot of people are talking about work-life balance nowadays. So, but if what you're doing is really like, I work in the kitchen and I cook and I do patisserie at the same time. So both, I'll say that food is an interest to me already. So working every day when I go to work and then do what you like, I don't. You can somewhat say that it's not actually work anymore. It's actually, it is your life. So you don't really require work-life balance, because everything you're doing is that's the life that I'm looking at.
Right. So do you have any tips for like any student at all who wishes to turn their passion into business?
Okay, so if you're saying about our age right now, I would say that don't have a too high expectation or result of your business right now, because you're young, you're competing with a lot of big companies out there which has a much superior status than you. So if you're turning your passion to business now, I view it as I'll recommend to view it as a as a lesson. So this whole thing is a lesson. You're gaining. You don't really have to start this thing just because of the money itself. It can be the experience. You don't gain the wealth, but you gain the experience. So I think that's very very crucial for people like us this age, like our age, our group. So, and I feel that planning is the number one thing that you should do before starting a business, because you don't end up starting a business that you don't know what you're getting into, and wasting time is the worst part of it. So money can always earn back, but time is gone already. So I feel that it's very important to do the planning, like marketing planning, the cost itself, the pricing. Yeah, all comes down to planning.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that was really great advice, and I hope people here really like note it down and remember it. Finally, I would like to ask, what's next in the future of this business? So where do you see this business in the next, say, 10 years?
For this business, what I hope to is build a ground for me as well. It's like as I said, a first step for me. So it's to build myself up, to let people know about what I can do for this business. So hopefully I'll keep it running, and hopefully draw more attention to what I do. And when I'm when I feel that the time is right, I feel that this home-based business itself will help me uh, essentially become a physical store itself. So that's the ultimate end goal that I want to see from this thing.
Thank you so much. Let's just hope for the best and for your business success.
Thank you very much.
So, thank you so much for the wonderful sharing. That's all from my side right now. But do you have anything else in your slides that you want to share?
My slides. Yeah. So in summary, I feel that the whole business itself is is what you want to. For me, just for personal, I feel that this is just what I like to do and what I want to bring to other people. And in generally, the experience that I got from this home-based business itself is priceless, because previously not really very well versed with the social marketing side. So I managed to learn by myself how to build a website from scratch. Okay, I use a website builder, but it is still the design part of the self which I managed to learn. And so some lessons that I've learned, that is always there contingency, because things always goes wrong at the right time. You know what I mean, right? So because you don't expect things to go smoothly all the time, so you should always have backup plan. So some example would be like during the circuit breaker, no one saw it coming, because you don't see people hogging the fruits, the grocery store, the the stores every day. So because of that, you should. What I learned there is always to have multiple suppliers, so you always have more people to talk to. And thankfully, for me, I was already baking beforehand, so I already had a good relationship with the supplier. So that was lucky for me, I'll say. But however, if I were to go back in time and do this again, I will have more suppliers and have more contingency to fend to fill at any point in time.
Great, thank you so much. We can now open the floor to questions from the audience, but I think we already have two questions in the chat box. So the first one's, do you think the future of F&B businesses is actually moving towards the home rather than the physical store? And what are some things that you are more able to do at home and not with the store, or vice versa?
Okay, so from the future of businesses, right, I feel that uh, it's not actually moving towards home because, like I said, doing from home is very hard to reach to people. Unless you have already a big customer base, like what I've seen during the circuit breaker was influencer. So they started baking and starting a small home based business, but because they already have the customer, not customer base, they already have the reach to this amount of people, so there wasn't really a big issue for them. However, I feel that if you're trying to do a food F&B business, it's better to have a physical store. And the question, what some things you're not able to do from home and not with a store is that you have more flexibility. So at home, you don't have you don't have to pay rent. So that's the most. I feel that that's the most important part of the funding because rent can cost you a lot. So however, with a store, you require more manning. So that includes more manpower cost as well. So doing at home is much better, more flexibility. So unlike with a store, and also doing from home, you have less response. I wouldn't say responsibility, but you won't have a less burden because the store itself you already set up. There's renovation required, and you throw all your investments into it already, so you can't really back up. But for home businesses, it's more like a safer option, I'll say.
Thank you so much. And the second question is, what do you think you're lacking to scale this business from where it is currently? And how do you intend to bridge that knowledge gap?
Okay, so what I'm lacking currently to scale this business is, of course, the marketing side. So because it's hard to, as I said just now, it's hard to reach out to people these days. Uh, from my side lah, it's hard to let everyone know about this business. So how I intend to bridge that knowledge gap is to come up with more products. So what this startup I break it down into a few stages of launch. So during a stage one launch, I only launch a few products and followed by second launch. So it's to slowly introduce newer and better products into the market, and hopefully time itself would help me to spread it to more people.
Thank you. We have another question there. I was wondering, how do you go about finding suppliers to work with, especially in the initial part of the business where demand isn't that big yet? So working with suppliers who have a minimum order requirement would be quite hard.
Yes, so about the supplier side, so most of the supplier require a minimum order requirement. However, I have friends and friends that or colleagues last time that are doing business themselves right now. So I wouldn't say make use of them, but so I sort of work together with them to get the order in together so that then I take from their side. So the suppliers will require me to order the same time as my friend side to hit the minimum order target. So that was how I managed to go about that. Otherwise, starting from a home-based business itself will be quite hard to find suppliers because your volume is not as required as you would have as a physical store. So otherwise, however, now currently now the stores are better, not a lot of people hogging right now. So I wouldn't lean on a supplier that much these days. So and I'll try to purchase the ingredients myself.
Thank you for your reply. I hope that answers all of your questions. Oh, there's another one. Um, Having this niche in French pastries, do you have plans to continue your studies down this route? If you do, would you perhaps turn to a full time rather than as a side hustle?
So I have plans to go study next year lah, at the Cordon Bleu Paris. So I'm going Paris to study French culinary, not just pastry but also culinary lah. So heading there, I hope to work in the local uh, restaurants there to further my knowledge into this thing. So of course, I will definitely want to turn this into a full time rather than just a side hustle because it's still what I love to do. And so yeah, that's my plan for now. And hopefully by traveling, because in Singapore market, food itself is not very the, the customer base is not very big also, and the food industry is not very well developed like as you see in France itself. So what I was hoping that I can go to Paris and study at the school there and work there a few years or so to expose myself to new ideas coming from there and bring it to Singapore eventually to let me have an edge over others to show my difference from other people.
Great, thank you. Are there any more questions? Do you want to share maybe your comments or opinions? You all can just type in the chat box. Okay. Um, Jared really admires the hustle, but his question is just wondering, where do you get your inspiration to create your products?
Okay, so I've been following lots of famous pastry chefs on social media, and from then on, I try to figure out and break it down their food and what's their product components, how they pair it, and from then on, from my own background of pastry, because I try and experience things myself, so I do a lot of experiment at home. So from there on, I try to mix and match and try to do basic flavor pairing, and from then on, that's where I get my inspiration for my products from.
Thank you. Clarence has a second question. With CB, there was an influx of new home bakeries, and it might be easy to get drowned out. Would you say expanding your offering is the only way to stand out, or would you recommend another way?
Sorry, what do you mean expanding your offering?
So hey, hi. Like different, like baking different sort of like treats, different products. Yeah.
Yeah, what I've seen during circuit breaker, everyone was baking cookies, uh, simple products because not everyone is has this kind of background before, and following a recipe and producing it is easy, I would say, because there's instructions, there's measurements, you can always follow it, and people bake and just sell it simply. But I feel that uh, selling a different kind of product is a way to stand out. Recommend any other way would be maybe pricing. So your pricing of your products maybe seems more attractive to other people, and hopefully you stand out from other people. But from what I see, it's still product differentiation. So what what I was hoping to achieve was making something that is different from other people.
Yep, thank you. And another question. Was the trial and error process to get your recipes right difficult and made you want to give up at any point?
Okay, so the getting the recipe right. So initially when I started, when I do pastry, I do a lot of pastry, like cupcakes. I do cheesecake itself. But to be honest, this is the second time that I step back into tart making. So as you see at the front of my website, the tart itself. So it took me about a month of constantly baking the tart shelf itself. So the tart shelf is actually the most difficult part of the whole tart itself. So I had to get that right in the first place. So there was a month of testing different recipes, changing and tweaking a little stuff for me. And until about 1 month later, after baking almost every single day, because it was I was in the Navy, so I had flexible working hours. So it was then I have to keep trying and keep trying. You just have to keep trying until you get it right. And also want to give up at any point in time, not really, because uh, I feel that it's just something that you just have to get through with it. Yeah, you don't want to give up after putting in so much effort, after throwing in so much time, and you just give it halfway. So that's a no for me. So I feel that I have to go through with it in the end. So shouldn't have give up.
Thank you. We have another very interesting question. Could you perhaps understand your customer demographics as well? Are they usually youths and are they scattered around Singapore? Because I feel this may be a challenge, especially when pickup options are either delivery or self pickup. Do you think your marketing captures this audience more than, say, elderly who may not appreciate French pastries?
Okay, so for my card itself, what I was targeting is not really youth, because youth I don't see them generally going to online, less the circuit breaker time, but going online because youths are looking for what for more branding these days. So they want to buy something that's more branded, is more famous lah, I'll say. So what I was targeting is more towards the middle age group, whereby because my tart is going for more pricey price, that as you can see on my website. So that's why I'm targeting, and I've tweaked the, my product itself to be not so sweet, because the other than youths, I don't think they really appreciate or they want to take sweet that much. So I try to tweak it my recipe to make it less sweet and not as gelat as other pastry that you will see. So that's what I feel. That's where I'm trying to target. And so because my product itself, I only offer delivery or self pickup. So reason being, I don't I do not want to engage a third party, for example, Grab, to help me deliver my products to my customer, because uh, my product itself is very delicate, I'll say. Yeah, so the touch shell breaks easily, the things can come off. So it requires very careful handling, I'll say. So usually when customer pick up, I'll usually tell them to, keep it in the chiller after that and do not shake it that much. However, as you see from Grab delivery, the handling is not amazing, I'll say. So that's why I couldn't engage the third party. So it's either I do it myself, like delivery, but however I charge delivery charge, or it just have to be self pickup. So that was a bit of a challenge for me.
Thank you. Just to add on, so you do your deliveries yourself,
Yes, I do my
right?
delivery myself. So previously, because I stay in Paya Lebar, so the delivery was a option. Otherwise, it's just self pickup. So I have to open another option, which is delivery. So I had a bit of trouble back then. So I was thinking, how am I supposed to deliver? So it cannot be public transport, because by the time the tart get over there, it's gonna be either destroyed or it's gonna melt already, because it's very temperature sensitive. So I decided to sign up for the Blue SG. So it's an electric rental car in Singapore. So it's very convenient. So and it's somewhat affordable. So driving close distance is still affordable. So that was the how I deliver my product these days. So I'll try to make sure everyone no I'll not try to make sure everyone. So I'll try to recommend to customers the dates itself so that I can push everyone's order on the same date and I can deliver one shot at once. So it's safe on delivery and also cost. Otherwise, if you deliver one delivery, let's say Monday, another one Wednesday, you're gonna lose money. Yeah, you're gonna chip in more money on your side to deliver product, and it's gonna cost more than the delivery charges that I charge the customer.
Yeah, I think that requires a lot of planning as well. But I think self-delivery really adds a personal touch to your products.
Yeah, you get to talk to the customers personally and introduce maybe tell them about what you do, and some customer will just sit and chat for a while, stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think that's great.
yeah, but what I get from some people is that so let's say self-delivery is at Paya Lebar, but some people just stay in Serangoon, let's say. So they were asking, is $9 a delivery, like island delivery charge, still valid for them? Because they don't see, because $9 from Paya Lebar to Serangoon is obviously too much for them. So that was a mistake that I made. So after that, I tweaked my delivery prices. So from distances to so I on my Instagram page I have a delivery a highlight. So from there I put different pricing for. So if you stay closer to Paya Lebar, so of course it'll be cheaper lah. So hopefully that accommodates to more people.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Like learning from experiences, and
Yeah.
that's how you get better. So, do we have any more questions or comments? You all can unmute if you are lazy to type. Or more? Going once, going twice. Okay. Okay, great. So I think we have no more questions. Oh, okay, you're an inspiration, says Eugene.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi. Before everybody leaves, thanks for the sharing again. Can we have a group photo? Yeah, you just take a screenshot. Uh, wait, the slide sharing thing, can we stop it? Or
Oh yeah.
I say, okay, can. Then I will do the screenshot thing. Okay.
Oh, also, if any of the audience members want to join, yes, great. Please turn on your cameras if you're comfortable with it. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you guys are feeling hungry, I think you can go to Mo and Do Instagram page and order right now. Okay. In three, I think I take out my mask and smile. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yep, I got the picture. Thank you very much, Masaki, for spending
Thank you
your
so much.
space. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Tao Wen, for the very insightful session.
Thank you.
And thank you to all of you for coming down and joining us on Tuesday evening. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks, Owen. I cannot hear you.
Thank you so much.
I
I think you're on mute.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Navy got a lot of time, is it?
No, during circuit breaker at time, all work from home what.